Hey you, so on this video why I purchased 100 ounces now, should you, I'm just going to be going over a recent purchase that I've made. So this is purchased off two separate people, and yeah, I'm just going to focus on the silver now. I did purchase a bit more in different sizes and even a little bit of gold, as I showed on my Instagram channel, but I'm just going to go over why I purchased them, what the price I got them for, and just answer a few questions as to whether people should be purchasing right now, especially when we're talking about silver, as talk currently is, spot price is going to be sliding a lot lower as we get into these. So I think this is the first time I'm even having these coins. This is going to be the 2016 Royal Mint Lunar Monkey. So not the best of coins, but when I get into how I got them, it's a fantastic deal I got on these. But yeah, currently talk is spot's going to be tanking, and this is not too long after we recently had talk of spot shooting. Metals are looking strong, go, and so we are where we currently are when we're talking about current spot price and even silver and gold in general. Now for me, I've always had the mindset, and then you can even go back on the channel, it's not something I usually focus on when we're talking charts or historical data, as I normally move and act when I'm able to and when I'm in a comfortable position. Yes, it's good to know when, the Borg mentality, the chatter is spot's going to be dropping. Does it normally happen as is? Well, if there's one thing that's certain when you're talking gold and silver and we're talking spot prices, it's 100% going to dip and it's 100% going to spike, and that's where I am when I eventually ball it all down. I look at it like, if I'm in a good position and I don't believe we're going to be seeing a massive spike or a massive dip, I purchase. So when we're looking at these coins here, these were purchased because I was able to pick them up at spot price, and this is UK spot price. So I know in the US this is nothing new, even when something as fancy as this coin here, as you guys get a lot of the Britannia coins and even the Royal Mint coins on spot deals all the time. Hands are dried up once again. These are bullion coins, so they're never going to be trying to push out for too much of a premium. As mentioning, yeah, you guys already get a lower premium, and then to be able to even pick up coins like these, I've seen the lunar horses people have brought to my attention, that's constantly on sale. But here in Europe, funnily enough, even in the UK, it's close to never that you're going to be getting a silver spot deal, even on bog standard Britannia. So I had a friend that was selling, and as it's always in-house, our in-house policy is spot price. When you're selling to a dealer, you're normally going to get 1% or 2% below spot, depending on how they feel on the day. If they're going to say these are great coins and they really want them in, they could pay you over for them, as they are technically a premium coin. But going from a dealer's mindset, they'd normally just tell you they'd give you spot. I mean, even getting bang on spot, a lot of the times when people say spot, you may not be getting bang on spot from a lot of dealers. Sometimes dealers look at it like giving you 1% below spot is a favor. You're a loyal comeback customer. So getting bang on spot is not always the call of the day. So in-house, between friends, we pay bang on spot. So that's what I picked these up for. I think spot's even dipped since then, so I'll touch upon that in a moment. So I got these around £11.60 sterling. So we're looking at about $15, give or take, 15.50 or something like that. So in Europe, that's a fantastic price, believe it or not. And it also what nudged me to act upon them. Now, I had a separate friend that was also selling the ones I'll be getting into in a moment. So for me, it all boiled down to the ease of it, because, if I wanted to purchase these, even if it was a spot deal, you have to take into consideration shipping. We do it every day of the week when we're purchasing, but for myself, when you get an opportunity when these can be hand delivered to your door, or, just meet up with a friend and pick them up, you don't need to worry about shipping. And, as of late, delivery companies have becoming more and more frustrating. There's a few I would rather deal with, and then a few I would just technically not in general. So seeing this opportunity to just be all in-house was I can't turn down. I think a little while back I showed a load of these lunar Royal Mint coins, and it was the goats. So these were purchased off the same individual. So He'd purchased a load of these Royal Mint Lunar coins. As to why they're selling, everybody and anybody has their reasons. When I get into the next coins, we may touch upon that in a moment. But this is the main reason why I picked these up, because I was able to get them at what would be considered in Europe a fantastic price, and that's current spot price. Now, when we look at something like these now, for instance, this was purchased off somebody else. Now, the interesting story about these, and these are going to be 2015 Britannia coins, I believe. So you're getting 25 in a tube. Another interesting thing I realized, I was here trying to twist the tubes on these, but a lot of these older tubes seem to be pull off. So it's literally fingernail killers. I can get one of these newer tubes, and then going back to the newer tubes, I believe these are the twist tubes. So you could tell when it's got like the cross up top as opposed to the solid all around the rim. So another little fun fact I just found out. So some of these older ones, getting back to the video, these 2015s was also purchased now because the person had to sell up. There was no ifs, ands and buts. They just had to liquidate. Now, the interesting thing on these 2015s, I think this is the first time I'm also getting these in. It's got like the orange peel effect at the in the background there in the fields, is at the time of purchase. Now, I don't, these weren't purchased in 2015. I did help them purchase these coins. It was the best offer at the time, and it was from a European dealer. I found these for them and said, look, these are going for the best price if you wanted to. The person was very heavy silver. And it was influenced by a pundit. I wouldn't call it a silver tongue lie, but they was very heavy silver at the time. And I say that because at the time they had around £1,000 sterling to spend. And I said, look, you can purchase these coins you're going to be purchasing. This is the best price on the Britannias you can get right now, purchased from a European dealer. Or you could purchase an ounce of gold for the funds that you have. And I give the same warnings all the time. Now, if you're going to be holding on to the silver forever, you know, it's going to be savings that you're never going to need to tuck into, then it's not going to be an issue of purchasing the silver. You can get into both at the same time. But I now tell people when they're asking advice, if there's any reason that you may need to tuck into these funds or even dig into them sooner than later, I'd say within the next 3 years, you may want to consider picking up gold, as should you need to sell, the spread, you know, and the premium wise is not going to be as aggressive, so it's not going to leave that much of a dent come time to sell. So, you know, they was adamant that they wanted silver. You know, I'll tell you the pundit that they was watching heavily at the time, and just asking my own personal advice on what I thought. And, you know, I'm all silver as I'm holding a bunch here now. And, you know, Mahoney and Dwayne really got them humped and hyped up for the silver. So they went all silver. So they put £1,000 sterling into silver at the time. So you're looking at, it was actually a total of 60 ounces they got at the time. So I got another 10 ounces here in the background, just holding them there. So I was shocked. I just seemed better to put 100 ounces on the title. So they purchased these. Now, come time to sell at current spot price, we have an issue because, as mentioned, we all know life throws curveballs. I don't know why, but I got the phone call and said, look, are you interested, or can you help me sell these? I'll always say try a few dealers first, because I don't want it to look like I'm strong arming and we didn't have the in-house policy set in place. And so a few dealers were tried, you know, they put a few feelers out there, and it just is what it is. And I've always telling people, you know, it's good to do a test run if you haven't done it before, or just see how the process works when it comes to selling, because I've come across dealers, whereas, you know, they can advertise that they'll buy your metals and, you know, we give fair prices. But once you get them on the phone, it could leave a real bad taste in your mouth, just from how aggressive they are, how, you know, dishonest they are, how cutthroat they are. You know, you can call a dealer and they'll could just hang up the phone on you and say, you know, we're not interested in what you've got for sale. But on their website, it says we buy back or guaranteed to buy back metals at the time. That can change at the blink of an eye, or, you know, the drop of a dime, as we get into the second batch of the Lunar Monkeys. And so they've done that and they've come back, and I said, well, look, I'll do bang on spot. And, you know, they was more than happy to accept that once they realized that's what current dealers are going to be purchasing, unless you want to sell these on the secondary market yourself. I'm referring to the 2015 Britannias here. And so we went ahead and done that. But the moral of the story is, from their £1,000 put in, they barely scraped back 600 and I think it was 60 odd pounds. So they ended up taking a massive loss, as opposed to, at the time, if I can remember, an ounce of gold and selling it here and now. I say they would have been down, so currently down 350 odd pounds, so give or take $420. And you know, if they would have purchased an ounce of gold here now, that's the most important thing also, because getting into fractionals, the premiums would have also eaten up and they could have lost a bit more. They would have purchased an ounce of gold, they could have been down give or take £50, you know, so that's give or take, I don't know where we are in dollars on that low denomination, $90 or so. And so, you know, that's definitely something for somebody to take into consideration when you're picking up silver and gold. And that's the main thing here. If you know you're using savings or funds that never, ever, ever need to be touched, and I stress this in a lot of my videos, well, then go ahead, you know, by all means, put your funds straight into that, and you know you'll never ever need to tap into that. That's not going to be an issue. But if there's any reason, I did ask how come they were selling, because at the time it was a conversation I had with them, and it's a lot of the times people don't want to get into it, and you know, there's people out there, if it was me, I would have no issues explaining why, but you know, some people just have problems, they don't want to go into them, it's just something that needs to be done, and I guess the last thing they want to be doing is explaining themselves. So it really was what it was, and you know, the situation was what it was. But you know, if they would have purchased an ounce of gold at the time, not saying gold is the better buy, you know, I'm an advocate for both, the losses would have been a lot, you know, more stomachable, as opposed to, give or take, £350, $420. You know, we could have been talking anywhere from even $80 to $90 loss in 1 ounce of gold. But you know, getting to the point where I've been asked, is it a good time to be buying now, as you know, talk of the town, the spot price is going to be dropping. I've been stacking for 5 years now, give or take, and I would say between them we've seen, you know, medium-sized spikes and medium-sized drops in spot price. It stayed a lot lower than it has higher, as we all know, and you're seeing more dips than spikes. But I would say it's always been a good time to purchase, even right now. So should you be buying silver now? Yes, if you have the funds. One thing I will say is there's no rush. Do not rush, do not rush, do not rush. That's more important now than ever, because sometimes people may have $1,000 or £1,000 and think that they need to plummet their funds straight into this. Of course, you should do your due diligence. Whoever you're watching on YouTube, go through their catalog, see whatever it is that they have to say when it comes to purchasing. But I would say take your time. If talk on the town is prices are going to be tanking and you want to pick up 10 ounces, if it goes a little lower, you could maybe, if prices tank low enough, maybe get an extra ounce from that dip. So if you look at it like that, I can pick up another extra ounce. Or if it's not going to be a bother to you because you're going to be allocating a set amount of funds every month, well then purchase now at I would say even current prices right now and within the past 2 years are still very good. It would be a pain, or you know, a bad move if spot price currently was to tank from here half price. So if it was to tank in half price and even sit at that price for 2-3 years plus, then buying now or within the past 3 or 4 years would have been a bad move. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Everybody seems to know what's going to happen, but from what I've personally seen when we're talking about, you know, the mystics and the clairvoyants and those that know it all, is that they're great at telling you why it happened, but not when it's going to happen. And that's not taking nothing away from somebody that reads charts. And, you know, if it's a manipulated game, the last thing I would think people would think they've caught on to is how the game's working and when it's going to dip and when it's, from my own personal, and this from one watching the pundits and a lot of people that are really focused on the charts, and this is something I rarely do now. Stopped doing that many years ago. I just purchase when I'm in a comfortable, good position. So if you're asking me, I personally think now's a great time to be purchasing, depending on how your budget is, how low it is, or how high it is. You know, but the best thing you could do is don't rush. So if you're in a comfortable position, or even if you're putting small amounts at a time, it's not going to harm you to stack up, you know, save up. If you want to buy gold, save up over the long-term period. If you want to buy more silver, save up. Work on purchasing. If you're once a month, you can accumulate. If it spikes, then, you know, you could save that up and go on to the next month. If it doesn't spike or it dips, then you can purchase straight away. But don't let the talk of the town where, you know, we're going to be seeing a massive tank in spot price stop you. I would say prices right now are fantastic. And if you're in a good enough position where you can put your savings into metals, by all means, go ahead and do that. And, you know, Most importantly, if you're going to be doing silver, take the 2015 Britannias into account. You know, if you're going to be doing it, do it with a long-term mindset. And if you don't know what's going to be happening, don't be caught up in all the glamour and the glitz and the glamour on the shine and just want to hold it and have it in your possession, because should anything happen and you need to draw upon it, most importantly here, everything and anything happen, life happens, then you're going to be in a bit of a pinch. You know, the person that sold these is now give or take a lot, hundreds down, when they could have been in the, you know, pounds or dollars down. So I'm going to wrap this one up, guys, but it'd be fantastic to know what you're doing currently when it comes to purchasing and buying gold or silver. You waiting for a bigger spot price tank? Do you pay attention to all of this, or do you buy whenever your pocket allows you to buy? So it'd be fantastic to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Do you think this was a good purchase right now? I think personally, as mentioned, as it was all in-house, it was the smoothest transactions that can be done, especially if you're in Europe. But are you steering clear of silver altogether and only gold, or are you all silver and no gold? So go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments, guys. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound.